So from what you have seen, what are like the common mistakes people make with their gear, like setting it up? Common example is just off the top of my head, things like, is it fit correctly? Is it worn correctly? Is it dummy cord is a thing?
Uh-huh.
Stuff like that. Like what do you usually see is not going right?
Oh man, that's a lot. But yeah, what you talked about on the straps hanging all over, like your gear shouldn't look like a ghillie suit, right? You shouldn't have with your buckles. You shouldn't have straps flopped all over everything. So police those up. Most gear today comes with the little built-in Velcro. So literally, all you gotta do is roll it up and then Velcro it down. In the good old days, all we just took is electrical tape and tape it up. But just securing those straps goes a long way because that shit it gets caught on stuff. I mean, it looks unorganized. And let's be honest, like if you're in a counterinsurgency environment and take Iraq for instance, if the insurgent sees our guys walking down the street and that's what they look like, they got straps and all kinds of shit hanging off all their body, like they're looking at those guys and saying, hey, these guys are not very professional looking. Look at them. They can't even wear their gear right. Their Kevlars are all jacked up. Like these guys are soft targets. Let's ambush these guys as opposed to these other dudes that are in this AO that seem like they got their shit together. And we saw examples of that all the time in Iraq when I was there on my second tour in 04. But the enemy will absolutely read that. All right. And that's not just like the military scenario. You can look at a civilian scenario, right? You have a natural disaster, or you have like a civil unrest or whatever. Let's say you're trying to get your family out of Dodge. You're all packed up. If you look like a hard target, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you guys. You're just gonna be able to sail right through, right? The looters will part like the Red Sea, and you'll be Moses leading his people right through it, man. I'm telling you. If you look like a hard target and you look like you're ready to do business and you're squared away. On the flip side of that, if you look weak, you look like you don't have your shit together, yeah, they're gonna take advantage of you, and you ain't gonna make it. So police up those straps. I would say make sure you don't have stuff stacked upon things that interfere with other stuff. So it's like your magazine pouches, right? A lot of guys have your magazine pouches on the front, and then you'll see a pouch directly on top of that magazine pouch. So it's like literally that guy has to finagle his magazine out of his magazine pouch because he doesn't have clearance above it to manipulate and pull that magazine out of that pouch. Usually that's like some guys put like an admin pouch or something on top of their magazines. So make sure if you're wearing that pouch, you don't have pouches that interfere with the accessibility of those pouches, specifically magazines. Like that's obviously a big deal. You touched on dummy cording. Absolutely. Don't rely specifically on Molly or the old school Alice clips. If any of you guys are running that stuff, make sure that stuff has a zip tie through it or dummy corded. I promise you, after 20 years in the Marine Corps as a first sergeant, I still have my gear dummy corded. I have MBGs or any of that stuff, any serialized gear, pouches, like that stuff is reinforced with zip ties and or dummy cord.